Motion includes many tools to create visual effects for Final Cut Studio projects. Of note are its state-of-the-art tracking and stabilization technologies, perfect for attaching particles to live-action shots or locking down shaky handheld camera moves, and its optical flow retiming technology from Shake for creating extreme slow motion and ramping effects. The first step to creating these visual effects is to send footage from Final Cut Pro to Motion. Select a clip or clips in the timeline, then Control-click or right-click and choose Send to Motion Project. A dialog window opens requesting a name and save location for the Motion Project file. Click Save when you're done. Motion will launch with your footage loaded and ready to edit. Click the play button or press the space bar to begin playback. Here, a satellite navigation system graphic must be added to the dashboard of the car. This kind of tracking exercise is called a match move, since the desire is to match the movement of the added graphic to the movement in the background. To perform the match move, first add the graphic or other element to the composition by dragging it from the file browser. Release the mouse when the position indicator, a thick black line with a circle on its left end, appears above the background clip imported from Final Cut Pro. To better see what you're tracking, you can temporarily deactivate the new layer to hide it from view. Choose Add Behavior, Motion Tracking, Match Move. The Match Move behavior will automatically choose the layer below the graphic as the item to track. You can always drag a separate layer onto the image well in the HUD if needed. Start by deciding what properties you need to track. For basic alignment of particle emitters and other simple effects, position alone may be sufficient. For more complex tasks, you'll need to match scale and rotation as well. The type of track defaults to transformation. This is suitable for position, rotation, and scale. Position the anchor point on-screen control over a key feature in your background clip. To adjust for rotation and scale, position an additional point to a feature on the same physical plane as the anchor point. This must first be activated in the inspector and can then be adjusted in the canvas. In the case of a screen replacement like this one, the other tracking type, 4 corners, is necessary. For a 4-corner track, simply line up the 4 on-screen controls with 4 clearly defined features in the background clip. Try to choose targets close to the corners of the object you're trying to match move. Hold down the Option key while positioning the targets, and Motion will offer hints to potentially useful tracking points. If you bring a target close to one of these hinted points, the target will snap to it. With all 4 corner points set, click Analyze. Once the analysis is complete, reactivate your overlay item in the Layers tab. To fine-tune the alignment of the graphic, set the transform to Mimic in the inspector, then choose the 4-corner adjustment tool. You can now reposition the edges of your graphic as needed. Press the N key to turn off snapping if it's currently active. With the graphic applied, it can then be color-corrected and treated to blend it with the background footage. When everything's finished, choose File, Save. Back in Final Cut Pro, you'll find your original footage replaced with the Motion project and all of your changes applied. If you need to make further changes, just Control-click or right-click again, and this time choose Open in Editor. Make additional changes and save again. Motion includes several other tracking behaviors. The Analyze Motion behavior is useful for generating individual tracking points. These points can then be applied to virtually any parameter using the Track Parameter behavior or referenced by multiple layers you want to track to the same movement. You can also use the tracker to track objects animated with keyframes or behaviors. The Stabilize behavior leverages the same advanced technology found in Shake's SmoothCam feature to automatically track and stabilize footage without the need to manually assign tracking points. If you choose Stabilize as the method, Motion will attempt to remove all motion from the clip. Like the match move behavior, you can choose to lock position, scale, and rotation. If you choose Smooth, motion will eliminate only the jittery parts of the movement, smoothing out the original camera move. Note that you can switch between methods at any time without the need to reanalyze. And for fine-tuning, you have the option to add manual tracking points to the calculations. Other additional options are available in the Behaviors Inspector. The unstabilized behavior will take tracking data from other tracking behaviors and use it to apply motion, effectively match-moving the layer to which it's applied. Just apply it to a layer in your composition, then choose an existing tracking behavior from the behavior pop-up in the HUD. Motion's retiming system offers several flexible methods for creating extreme time warping effects. Timing parameters for a clip can be found in the Properties Inspector. To create a simple slow motion effect, change the speed percentage as desired. Choose between no frame blending, frame blending, motion blur blending, and optical flow. When you choose optical flow, motion begins to calculate motion vectors for the selected clip, evident by the progress indicator below the mini timeline. This is the internal data needed to create new, unique frames for the retimed sequence. Double-click the progress indicator to see a progress bar. These calculations only need to be performed once on each clip. The data is then available to other projects you're working on or even other users who have access to your footage files. The optical flow data is now used to create a smooth-flowing slow motion effect for your footage. Set the time remap mode to variable, and you can then keyframe ramping effects using the keyframe editor. Or choose Add Behavior, Retiming, Set Speed to quickly dial in a ramping effect with a few simple slider adjustments. If you've created ramping effects in Final Cut Pro using the Time Remap tool, you can send the clip to Motion to take advantage of the optical flow retiming. Just send the clip using the same context menu option used earlier for the match move. In Motion, select your clip in the Layers tab, not the group it belongs to, and then view its Properties tab in the Inspector. Set the frame blending mode to optical flow and wait for the analysis pass to complete. Save the project and return to Final Cut Pro. Press Command-R to render the newly referenced Motion project, and you'll see smooth optical flow retiming right in Final Cut Pro.